And welcome back to High Stakes MMA UFC Fight Night 27 Font versus Garbrandt recap show. It was a good card, up and down. Started off hot, slowed down for me towards the end of the main card, but Rock stayed hot the entire card. It was fun fights tonight. Starting off with the first fight of the night, started off with a bang with that Alves versus I can never pronounce the guy's name, but Damir Imusulov. Alves came out hot, much like you predicted in the breakdown. He came out, dropped him really quick, then had the guillotine. Looked like he was, it had him in danger for a minute there. But then as soon as Damir got out of that, he just started to dominate. He ended up on top control, finished out the round there. Did the same thing in the second round, and then once the third round came, Alves he came alive again. But as soon as Damir ended up on top, man, it looked like it was at that point Alves was just shot. He was gassed.
Yeah, Ismagulov, he definitely didn't look like a 5-1 favorite or whatever they had him pegged at. It was a little sketchy in that third round, and also in the beginning of that first round. Even though Alves did drop him, he did lose that first round. So going into that third round, maybe he was just kind of letting his foot off the gas. Who knows? But he looked good, man. Other than that, he looked good. He was pretty much dominating the whole second round. Total strikes, he outlanded him 141 to 36, which was, man, he put it on him pretty much, over 100 strikes more than Alves landed on him. So it was a dominant performance. It was a little sketchy, so I'm glad I kind of stood away from it. I didn't want to be sweating that whole time on that one. And on the next fight we had up was, I believe that was
Dvorak,
David Dvorak versus the new replacement, Juan Camilo Ronderos. Yeah, man, this guy was filling in like on hours' notice, and so didn't give anybody any tape or any time to do any tape on this dude. Wasn't able to play Dvorak. I wasn't able to, unfortunately. The book I was using wasn't offering him. I was completely out of this fight. But yeah, as far as the fight goes, he went in there and just subbed him super fast.
He outclassed him.
Yeah, just got got him down and just pretty much subbed him, and it was pretty much it, man. There's not much to take away from it.
Yeah, he got the rear naked. A couple minutes into the fight. You could tell dude's coming in on one day's notice. He didn't look ready for this fight, which you can't blame him. And Dvorak is he was in tip top shape, and he came in hit a couple strikes, got him to the floor, and then that was all she wrote. Dvorak cashed in. He was a big favorite in the fight. So I was able to get him in a couple parlays, but it was just such a high favorite. It was something you didn't want to put in anything solid. So, and then for the next one up the card was one we both liked a lot going into the fight, which was Kulibao taking on.
Yulin
Shah, yeah, that guy, man. He came in. He looked a lot like the other fighters coming out of China. They come in hot in that first round, and then they start to dip off. And you've seen Kulibao really start to put it together in the second and third round. He started landing his shots, outstruck him by about 50. It looks like here, but there was a good fight, and then he was able to come back.
Yeah, Kulibao in that first round, like you said, he pretty much he got a couple takedowns and a lot of control time, but he didn't do anything with it, kind of burned himself out, and from there, Kulibao was just landing the better strikes. Started busting him up, he started to bleed from the nose and whatnot. He didn't drop him or anything crazy, so you would have liked to see that from Kulibao, get him out of there, but Yulin Shah showed that he was pretty tough in his own right. But, yeah, at the end of the day, it was pretty much what we thought was going to happen. Kulibao going out there. I thought he might have was able to get a finish. Unfortunately, he didn't. But other than that, he still handled work. And glad to see one of our main picks that we were high on, went out there and handled business pretty much. And on the next fight, it was Bruno Silva versus Victor Rodriguez. And we both had Silva on this one as well. And it was another fight where it was just quick work, man. Bruno came out there, hit him with one knee, rocked him pretty quick, and then came back afterwards with the overhand and just completely flatlined him, and it was over, man, within a minute. So yeah, there wasn't really much to say about that one. It was nice, and Bruno showed a lot of power in that one, man. And this man's this is like his third fight in like 7 months, so super active. He keeps getting after it. Who did he call out after that? Called out
Bontarine.
Bontarine. That's a solid fight.
That's a fun one. Yeah, you basically covered it on that one. I mean, he just came in and just destroyed him. 1 minute, Rodriguez didn't even land a strike. He was trying to protest it after, but I mean, come on, he was out of there.
Yeah, those Alaskan fighters, man. Which Victor Rodriguez, he is one of those fighters that come out of Alaska, like we were talking about in the breakdown. Jordan Wright is like the only guy that's had success lately from that organization, or the people that come out of there. Other than that, man, they're terrible, man, and I honestly just
I'm excited.
Pretty much fade against them. So
I'm excited to see Bruno in the future. Him and Bontarine would be awesome. Yeah, I think that's a good next step for him
for sure.
Next one up the card was it was the first fight we were against each other on, and this was another one where it was Court McGee versus Claudio Silva, and Silva again, just like you said in the breakdown again, he came in hot. He came in heavy, looking real good at the beginning of the fight, and then once Court started getting in rhythm, Court dominated the entire rest of the fight. He was able to control majority of the time. He had 8 minutes of control time. He landed a lot more strikes. He outstruck him. Silva did in the third round start to come on strong at the end, looking like he was landing some big bombs, but he was just too gassed to try to go for any finish.
Yeah, he looked like he could have. He looked like he almost was able to get a finish if he could just get one solid strike on McGee there, but unfortunately he wasn't able to land it, and McGee ended up riding that decision out and taking it home. Scorecards on that, man, they had 30-26, 30-26, and 29-27. So they had that second round, I believe, 10-8 for McGee, because he was just putting the brakes on a beatdown on Silva.
He was
and in each beginning of the round, like a minute in the round, Silva would have a little bit of gas and do all right, but then after that, man, it's just complete. He just completely gasses, and
he would have a burst, and then it just fell out of the bottom.
He's like a 3-minute, 2.5 minute fighter in the first round, and then like a minute fighter in each round. And it's dangerous, man, and he's super tricky on the ground. Even when he's super tired, you got to be in position. And Court was super solid, just staying out of danger the whole time. Anybody that's not solid on the ground is going to get tapped out, no matter how tired that man is, just because that's how tricky he is. So it was
good win for Court.
Yeah, good solid win for Court. Glad to see him rebound with the win there. And going on to the next fight, this was Ben Rothwell versus Chris Barnett. And yeah, man, fun fight while it lasted. I'm glad Barnett went out there and showcased that he can go out there and swing bombs in his own right. It was fun while it lasted. Barnett came in on short notice for this one, I believe, as well. So it was good to see him that he had some success. But hopefully he gets a call back. But it was all Big Ben from the get. It was a lot more heavy strikes. And he eventually ended up finishing him with the guillotine choke. How'd you see this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's always scary just because I had Rothwell in like all my heavy parlays and everything like that. So when he was throwing those kicks, he did land on Rothwell a couple times, but it just didn't look like he had the power. And I don't know if that was because of the short notice or what, but he just didn't look like he had the power to really do much damage to Big Ben. And when Big Ben ended up getting him on the ground and finishing with that guillotine, which I know you cashed in on that prop bet.
Yeah, I took a little stab on the first and second round submission for Rothwell, and that paid pretty good, man. So I'm glad I hit that. And
that was a good one. That was a good call, and it was good that Rothwell came up with the victory. And on to the main card. Started off good. My pick for this fight was Hermanson. But my pick for a live dog was also Shabazian because I knew he had a good shot at winning this fight, and it started off looking that way in the first round. He came in, he was out striking him. He was looking real good. Second round was kind of up in the air in the first half, and then after that, Hermansson just took over. And that third round, he had them all split. I think I was the one he got a 10-8 if I'm not mistaken, and it just dominated him after about halfway through the second and on, and significantly dominated him.
Yeah, he just completely out-grappled him. Shabazian really needs to work on his grappling, man, and it's not he showed that he had a little better gas tank, but he got beat the fuck up in this one, and it's it's sink or swim for this kid, and he just really needs to go work on his wrestling. He needs to get away from a wild card, because his hands are okay. They're very nice, but he needs to work on that grappling because, all these guys are going to do the same thing to him. The blueprint's out there already. And anybody like Hermansson or anybody that's real grapple heavy that can also take shots and give them back as well, it's just going to be a problem for him. And yeah, if he doesn't get you out of there in that first round, he significantly slows down. He's still dangerous, don't get me wrong, but it's just significantly less dangerous as the time goes on.
He's fast. He has a nice jab, and he was catching Jack in the first round with those at will. But once this hit the floor, and then you could see the air go out of him, and Jack just really took it over.
Yeah, he ended up outstriking him by like 100 strikes and landed 3 takedowns. So yeah, man, it was a pretty
most
much
of those was on the ground. That's when he split him open and hit him with that elbow.
It was a straight beatdown, man. It was bad to see for Shabazian. Hopefully he gets his ass in the wrestling gym and start working on some grappling. Because more guys are going to do this to him unless he fights complete strikers. So going on to the next fight, this is where I believe I took my first wrong prediction here, and this would be on Ricardo, Ramos, and Bill Algio. Yeah, man, it was a good fight, but Ramos kind of outpointed him a little bit more. Not more outpointed him as far as strikes goes.
It was the takedowns.
Yeah, it was the control time for grappling and whatnot. He landed 8 takedowns on him. But yeah, it was rather lackluster. You would like to see Algio come with more, but even at times Algio would get popped too, just because his style, that he presents. He's hands down all the time, winging punches. He's more or less looking to bait you into something and catch you with one big punch instead of throwing combos together, and that pretty much lost him the fight, man. So sad to see.
Yeah, and I was Algio. I had Algio was one of my main picks on my parlay. So this one hurt. This one hurt me. I did like him to win this fight. I definitely didn't think it was 30-27, as 2 of the judges had it. He did outstrike him total, 90-57. Algio did win in the striking department. It was those takedowns. He did land 8 of 13. Ramos did, and that was basically it. I think that's what got him the win. He got them at the right time in the rounds too. As soon as Algio would start to get his strikes off, he would get the takedown and he would man the rest of the round to the win, which he definitely should have won the fight. I'm not saying that, but 30-27, that was just a little lopsided. But that one hurt. The next one up the card was my favorite of the night. This is why I started taking L's on the main card after Jack. It was getting ugly for me personally, but Spencer. It was Spencer versus Dumont. And I'll tell you what, Dumont, she got those big, thick thighs, and she came in and she was kicking hard with them things. And she's a tough chick, man. The one thing I didn't like was I didn't like Spencer's game plan. I don't know if I could say it was her game plan or if she just couldn't do it. Because normally she's pressing you up against the cage, trying to get the takedown, and she wasn't doing that. She was trying to stand and strike where Dumont was definitely getting the better of the combinations, and she was throwing a lot more. From the total strikes thrown, it doesn't look that way, but it just seemed like her combinations that was perfectly timed, and she was definitely catching Spencer.
Yeah, she was landing the harder shots, and Spencer, dude, she was waiting for literally the last 60 seconds to shoot any sort of a takedown or try to pressure against the cage, and that's what she should have been doing from the jump. And she didn't. She went out there and just tried to throw strike for strike with Dumont. So Dumont showed a good, a good base as far as striking goes. But I wasn't too impressed. I'd be definitely looking forward to fading her in the future. No offense, but yeah, I think Spencer had a bad game plan and an off night here, more or less than Dumont coming out here and having a great victory, because Spencer really doesn't fight like that. So it's hard to say. It's hard to look back and be like, that was a terrible bet when she does something that's uncharacteristic like that. So. Going in the next fight, this was this was the dog of the night for me. It was Jared Van Dara versus Justin Tafa, and this was a great fight, man. I think they probably got fight of the night, but they were both swinging for the fence the whole time. There was no ground control, no takedowns or anything like that. They were just pretty much swinging them the whole time, and Van Dara got the best of Tafa. Tafa was a little too slow. And, Van Dara had some good high kicks, too, throwing him up really quick and showing that he was pretty athletic for being a bigger dude. And, he went out there and handled business. He got split open pretty nasty, but it wasn't too much to be a concern of. In the third round, Tafa did look like he was coming on a little bit more, but, it was a little bit too late.
Too late. Yeah, and Tafa was just looking for that big shot all night. It was just looking like he was just trying to hit him with that big bomb. He really wasn't putting much together. His legs, Vandera was taking out his legs early, and it was really showing on Tafa, in about midway through the fight, where he was switching stances a lot, which is not something he normally does, and just looking for that big right to land. And, if it wasn't for the cut, which kind of made it look uglier than it was, I mean, Vandera, he pretty much cruised to the victory with, I thought, well, the third round, Tafa did give him a little bit of a struggle, but other than that, Vandera really looked good, and he surprised the hell out of me. So, I'm interested to see him again.
He could have probably finished him with the leg kicks, man, now that I'm thinking. Yeah. But he just didn't.
He landed 23 or 24 of them.
Yeah, he should have threw a lot more. He should have threw more towards the end.
He stopped throwing them in the third.
Yeah, he should have threw more, man, because literally Tafa was like just like every time he'd hit him, he'd just grimace and just like reset, put his hands together, and just completely stutter step. So he should have threw more of those. But yeah, no, great performance. He did exactly what I thought he would do. But yeah, he even showed a better chin than Tafa. So good fight all around. It was fight of the night. So the next fight was Carla Esparza versus Jan Zanan. And man, this was a good fight. Carla went out there and pretty much dominated her from the jump. Got an early takedown in the first round and had her on the back for the whole fucking 4.5 minutes or however long she was down there for. And man, she got strikes off, little pitter-patty strikes in advanced position, and just pretty much rode that whole round on top. And in the second round, it was pretty much the same. Real quick, Zanan came in with a couple strikes, threw a kick, which shows her fight IQ super low, throwing kicks at a strong wrestler that's already, coming to try to put you on your back already, which is pretty stupid. And she did it, and she paid the price, man. She threw it and got taken down, ended up getting crucifixed and pummeled out. And Esparza ended up getting a TKO stoppage in the third round. And this one hurt for me, man, because this was one of my locks as far as the overs. And she went out there and just, busted her up and got the TKO stoppage. So you can't be too mad at it. I did hedge as far as what I tried to do is throw Esparza in some finishes, like first and second round, just in case that scenario did happen, and it did hit. So kind of mad about it, but not too mad about it.
Yeah, with Yana, it was wild that she's just gonna go out there and start trying to throw kicks at Esparza of all people. We everybody knows the game plan. It's not gonna change with Esparza. So for her to just come out hot like that, throwing kicks, I wouldn't expect anything less if that's the way she's gonna fight. I thought she was gonna be more calculated and try to stand back and just land her strikes from distance, but she tried to come in and go for the kill, and it costed her. And Esparza did great. She looked great, and she did exactly what she was supposed to do. And she got the W, well deserved.
China's 0-6 in the last month, bro.
They're not doing good. They need somebody to come and turn this around. We need to see Archie Long again.
Yeah, that's my boy. I can't wait to see that guy again.
Yeah, that dude was awesome. For the main event, which was Rob Font taking on No Love. This was a good fight, man. They came in, they were swinging. Rob Font was really showing his length there because he was able to pop that jab all night long. But Cody's chin, it held up.
Surprisingly.
It held up. And he was in it the whole time. He didn't, he's never really he was getting caught, but there was never really no point in the fight where you were like, okay, he's out of it now. So he was still in there. It was just a good fight by Font, and I think he's right there for a title shot, man. He's 1 or 2 fights away.
Yeah, the first round was pretty even competitive, and then that second round, Cody started shooting hella takedowns. Started shooting a lot of takedowns, and he started getting a couple of them, but couldn't do anything with them at all. So right after that, Font started seeing that he wasn't caring too much and could get back up each time, and just started letting his hands go more, and that's when he started, pretty much putting the gas pedal on him. He ended up outstriking Cody by like 100 strikes or whatnot. So, yeah, it was good. I mean, good to see that Cody could actually take him, because there was some decent shots that he hit him with towards later in the round or the fights. Like the 4th and 5th round, like good uppercuts, good overhands, and Cody ate him. And I honestly didn't think he would be able to eat a strike from someone like Rob Font like that. So I guess that's a moral victory from him. But yeah, man, he got pretty much outclassed, outjabbed, and I did think Font was going to be able to put him away. I didn't think he was going to, I didn't think Garbrandt was going to be able to last there. So, good to see we got the pick right, though.
Right. And as for our bets and our picks of the night, for me personally, like I said, I started off hot in the prelims, 5-1, and the prelims in the main card hit, and I went 2-4. So I ended up with a total record of 7-5 for tonight's card. And I lost all the way around as far as my picks go. My parlay was Ben Rothwell, who won, Kulabau, who got the W, but I did put Algio in my 3-team parlay, who costed me. And my favorite of the night was Spencer, and the underdog, which I did pick Jack to win. I just didn't really like any of the underdogs on the card. And the livest one I thought that had a shot to get it done would be Shabazian. So and he was live for a while there until Jack took over. So yeah, that was the picks of the night. Didn't work out too well for me this time. What about you?
Yeah, the only fights I lost on was the Sparza one, I guess, because I picked Jan, but that was kind of a toss-up. And then I had the Spencer one and Dumont, which I thought Spencer would actually get the dub there, and the Algio one. Wasn't too confident on that pick as well. But yeah, man, other than that, I was pretty spot on. And as far as my bets go, my parlay didn't hit because I did end up taking... I didn't put the Font under on that one. But like I was, suggesting, or maybe I might, but I ended up putting the Jan over, the Jan and Esparza one over, and yeah, man, that one costed me, so I didn't end up hitting that. I did hit the dog, which was Vandera, which was a great pick, and Rob Font straight. I also, I didn't talk about these on our last betting show because, sometimes you just do shit later on a whim sometimes. But I also hit Ben Rothwell second round and Esparza second round TKOs. So those paid pretty good as well. So overall, it was I'm in the plus for me, so I can't complain. But we like to see in the future get more money for these early dubs that we're catching, because I mean it seems like we start off hot in these prelims, and then as soon as the main card comes, I don't know why for some reason we fizzle out.
Over the last, we've been solid. Just the last 2 cards, it seems like the main card's been fucking us. But we'll get back to it. Yeah, we need to go higher on these prelims since we've been smacking them like crazy.
On props, maybe more on props, because There's these sneaky props, man, where they give these stupid numbers, like Cachoeira last week, man.
Yeah.
Fucking Ben Rothwell this week, fucking, and
Yeah,
Esparza. I did only Esparza just because I was kind of hedging out of the over, just in case anything stupid happened, which something stupid happened and it paid off, man. So sometimes, a little bit on a crazy number will, make sense sometimes.
The Cachoeira one got us paid last time, and that was perfect pick. We seen the knockout, and she was the underdog. So, we are hitting them. We are hitting the numbers. We are getting there. We have, a winning record overall by far. So everything's looking good, and we're just going to continue to try to bring these picks and put some money in everybody's pocket. So listen to the show and take what you will out of that. And also we had just started up our Twitter as well, so you can go ahead and check us out at that, at High Stakes MMA. Find us on Twitter.
He'll drop it below. We'll drop it below so that way you can click on it. And follow us, retweet us, any of our picks. We're not ever going to try to say to charge or anything like that, because of course this is just fun, free picks, so I don't want to hear any shit talk if we lose. No.
And also please like and subscribe. I like to see everybody, we're getting some views, everybody's listening, chiming in on the comment section would be nice. We'd love to talk back to you guys. Thanks for listening. So we got a break. We got a week break, so we will be back for the next card at Fight Night 28.
Yeah, give us a lot of time to study for the next card. So, hopefully we come back sharp. And then we'll also try to get more of the Bellator and PFL and LFA content. Bellator has just been kicking our ass lately because we haven't been able to do much tape study. We do have a life outside of trying to, watch fights all day and night. So, definitely try to get more of that up. But for now, we got the UFC covered every event, no doubt, and you can count on us for that.
All right, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll be back in a couple weeks.